So if you've watched or listened to my show over the years, I always say I'm a huge veteran advocate. I will tell you, if there's anyone who is a bigger advocate for veterans, it's my guest, Paula Pedene. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
This time of year, I cry more on Veterans Day weekend, I think, than I do Memorial Day weekend. And the men and women that have served this country truly are the best and brightest that we have to offer.
They are. And, you know, doing the parade is one of those ways that we get to honor and recognize them. Veterans Day is a happy day, and it's commemorating the end of World War I in 1918. And that's why we start our parade on November 11th at 11 a.m. in recognition of that signing of the armistice. So it really is a recognition event.
I talked with Senator McSally about Veterans Day, obviously a veteran herself,
yes,
and such an advocate. I'm a transplant to Arizona in 1995 and blown away at how veteran-friendly Arizona is. And this parade is an example of just how huge the support for veterans is.
Yes, we've had the parade since 1997. Can you believe it?
Wow.
It's our 23rd year. And we get 45,000 people out on the streets. And some of the history of it has really been beautiful. We were talking about the Navajo code talker, Joe Kelwood.
What an amazing man he was.
Just truly
all of them.
So, all of them. But you know, when we started the parade, the Pearl Harbor vets would come out in their aloha attire and the white pants and march the entire event. This year we have 2 left, just
wow,
2. So history is fading before our eyes. It's important for our youth to understand that there is a significance that these people give to us, and that they sacrifice a portion of their life to defend the freedom we have every day. For you and I to sit here, for the cameramen to do their job, for the studio, everything, freedom of the press, it's just important. It's really important.
And even for the men and women that haven't seen combat, which it's hard now, most veterans have, but even for the generations that haven't, the training for that mission, the separated time from their families, it is a big sacrifice, and willing to lay their lives on the line for a cause bigger than themselves. They are our best and brightest.
Exactly. And you know, when we talk about things like non-combat, but during the Cold War, we had the Beirut bombing in
sure,
Lebanon, we had, you know, so the Grenada, the issues in Grenada, there was so much that happens, and you're right, it's an everyday, on the job, on the line type of thing. It really is.
We just had the tragedy happen where an Arizona soldier was killed in that training accident. We just had an airman a fall out of a C-130 training over the Gulf of Mexico, I think yesterday or the day before. Even in training, this is such a dangerous job.
It is, but it's an important one.
It is.
And that's why we honor and recognize them, because they do. They give a portion of their lives, and it helps us. It helps us.
For anybody that's not been to the parade, I try to encourage them with stories. I told you about my interaction with Mr. Kelwood when Joe Kelwood was telling stories and then sang the Marine hymn in Navajo to a bunch of Marines before the parade. But what I was moved by was, as the parade made its way through town, the veterans that would stand for the code talkers. It is truly, it exemplifies everything about the veteran community and the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the military.
The city of Phoenix, that, you know, supports every parade, tells us this is the most patriotic group that comes out to watch this parade. So isn't that great? So you're right, that says something about our community. There's 45,000 people out there on the streets. We have 99 entries. We've got floats, we've got bands, we've got marching units, and it's all about the veterans. They get such a wonderful feeling of gratitude. It's like the community's coming out and giving them a big hug. And you know what? That helps them heal. And with today's, you know, numbers that we're seeing, the 20 deaths a day by suicide, the post-traumatic stress, the mental health issues, we need more events like this to help our veterans heal, to give them that resilience, to get them past whatever it is that's haunting them and getting them back to whole.
Do you still cry during the parade? Because I do. Being on a parade float at times and being in the parade, to see, I don't know if it's more moving to see the veterans stand or to see little boys and girls waving American flags, and they're looking at an older generation, and it's something they'll never forget. It's starting to mold them in that patriotism that sometimes feels lost sometimes in America.
You know, one of the reasons I think we're losing that patriotism is something that Richard Dreyfuss is kind of getting behind right now. He said that in the 1970s we stopped teaching civics in classrooms, and I didn't realize that, because that that was just like crazy. You know, that's where I learned about patriotism. That's where I kind of said, oh, I think I'm going to join the military, you know, because I learned about community government and the patriotic spirit. So it's those kinds of things that this event brings us back to. And you're right, that patriotic spirit through civics or whatever we can do makes a difference.
I was in high school during the Cold War. I graduated in 1985, and we were required to take a course called Americanism versus Communism in Social Studies. And it was a look at the two governments, and it explained Americanism versus communism in a way that it made you feel patriotic about the form of government we had. And I thought something I don't ever want to lose. That's why I'm so glad Arizona, first state to pass, that you have to pass a civics exam to graduate from high school.
Which is great. And they have the Bill of Rights in all the classrooms now.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It makes a difference.
So for the people that want to go to the parade, they want to learn more, I want to mention that letting the cat out of the bag about the Grand Marshal.
Oh, no problem. She's
Loretta
already
Swit,
been announced, yeah.
From MASH fame,
Yes.
but for her to do it again,
Yes.
she loves this parade.
She does, and she loves the veterans. She's going to the hockey game, and then we have a meet and greet with her on Sunday, but it's, and then the parade.
Now, will
on
she be there
Monday.
Saturday night at the hockey game?
Yeah, she will.
I will be as well.
Will you be there? Will you come by and say hi?
Are you
pretty
kidding?
please?
I'm bringing my whole entourage to say hello.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That'd be great, because it'll just be wonderful to have you say
Details
that.
on the parade. Is there
Yes.
a website
Oh,
they can
sorry.
go to?
We
No,
need
no,
to
but I
get
want to
back
make sure
to that, right?
because I want people to know how to get to the
talk
parade
forever.
and how to get there and where they can get online
Right.
for directions.
So November 11th at 11 a.m. It starts on Central Avenue, heads south at Montebello, turns east on Camelback and heads south on 7th, and it de-stages in front of the VA or right past the
Yep.
VA hospital. There will be vets from the VA hospital out there. The VA has an entry this year, so that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
It is a good thing. So the healing is occurring all the way around, I think.
I know it's not enough, but thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you.
We
Mike.
so appreciate it.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without you.
We'll be back.